Prince was arrested shortly after and charged with trafficking meth. During a search in April of last year, deputies recovered half a kilo of meth, as well as weapons, scales, and money counters. Well, deputies say a man wanted for aggravated assault and kidnapping tried to outrun them. This is Joel McLeod. Cherokee County deputies tracked him to the Grand Reserve apartment complex on Reservoir Drive in Canton. Deputies say when he spotted them, he made a U-turn, sped to the back of the complex, and took off running. The 41-year-old was quickly tased and taken into custody. He is being held without bond tonight. Douglas.
As you all reported on this, and as you also know that they left on Friday and returned just yesterday. Where this was discovered is a heavily traveled area where many White House, West Wing, I should be even more specific, West Wing visitors come through this particular area. I just don't have anything more to share. It is under investigation by the Secret Service. This is
Secret Service agents were doing routine rounds when
Got
they
a
found
cokehead working in the White House.
A common area in the West Wing Sunday evening. The White House was temporarily evacuated, and the powder was sent for further testing. The Secret Service confirmed that the test showed the substance was cocaine. President Biden and his family had left for Camp David on Friday and returned to the White House on Tuesday. The substance was found in a cubby hole in a West Wing entry area where visitors place electronics and other belongings before taking tours. Jean-Pierre said Biden has been briefed on the issue, and they are confident the Secret Service will get to the bottom
I
of
wonder
it.
if Putterin was there.
Over a dozen can cause loss of consciousness or even death. The two shipments were reportedly on their way to an address in Washington, D.C. The news soon sparked buzz online linked to Hunter Biden's drug controversy. The boxes have been transferred to Homeland Security's Investigations Department. Is 2024 the year TikTok gets banned?
Heavy area in the West Wing of the White House last weekend, and they are trying to discover who it was. They say it may have been a person who works at the White House or somebody who is authorized to have been in the area. The Secret Service is also now doing fingerprinting to find out exactly who it was. Meanwhile, Senator Tom Cotton is already pressing on whether or not there will be prosecutions under the law. Senator Cotton pressed the Secret Service to provide him answers to questions by a next Friday deadline. Questions including, will they make an arrest after finding out who brought in the cocaine, who has access to the White House without security screening or with lesser security screening, and more. And one ex-Secret Service agent says that even if the person was screened properly, it could easily be missed because those screen detectors are meant for detecting metal and not small substances.
These are magnetometers. They're looking for weapons, and they're looking for any biochemical agents. This dime-sized bag, which is really small, that can pass through. Somebody can hide that somewhere. You're not strip-searching people.
The chief of communications for the Secret Service told the Epoch Times that they're working very hard, trying their best to identify who exactly it was, and they will be monitoring and analyzing their screening process to determine any hazards in that process. Meanwhile, the White House has so far been tight-lipped.
I just don't have anything more to share. It is under investigation by the Secret Service. This is in their purview.
And President Biden was asked questions about this when he departed for South Carolina this morning, but he did not answer those questions as he boarded Air Force One. Reporting from Washington, D.C., Melina Weisskopf.
Can cause loss of consciousness or even death. The two shipments were reportedly on their way to an address in Washington, D.C. The news soon sparked buzz online linked to Hunter Biden's drug controversy. The boxes have been transferred to Homeland Security's Investigations Department. Is 2024 the year TikTok gets banned?
Lines anytime soon. The GOP-led Oversight Committee is now probing the details of the incident. The chairman of that committee, James Comer, called it a shameful moment in the White House's history, writing that in a letter to the Secret Service's director requesting for her to come and give a staff-level briefing on the issue by July 14th. Another issue in the mix that's really raising questions is the location change. So it was originally believed that the cocaine was found in the White House library, then that location changed to the West Wing lobby, which has a bit more foot traffic. It's a heavy foot traffic area. Then most recently, it's believed to have been found in the West Executive entrance, which is more secured. It's also where the Vice President This vehicle is usually parked to give you an understanding of the security level in that area, and it's also near the Situation Room. Today, the National Security Advisor brushed off questions about whether or not there are national security implications. Take a look.
The Situation Room is not in use and has not been in use for months because it is currently under construction. I do not believe at present, as things stand here at the podium today, that we are facing some national security threat.
And unsurprisingly, former President Donald Trump took a stab at the Biden family, writing on Truth Social, "Does anyone really believe that the cocaine found is for the use of anyone other than Hunter and Joe Biden?" In response to this, one White House staffer had this to say.
Are you willing to say that that's not the case, that they don't belong to them?
I don't have a response to that because we have to be careful about the Hatch Act.
And when pressed further today about whether this drug might have belonged to a Biden family member, the White House press secretary called the reporter's question irresponsible.
They were not here. They were at Camp David. They were not here Friday. They were not here Saturday. They were not here Sunday. They were not even here Monday. They came back on Tuesday. So to ask that question is actually incredibly irresponsible.
So, Melina, we know there have been updates about the timeline of the Secret Service's investigation. What's the new timeline we're looking at?
It was initially expected that this investigation would be concluded in the few weeks ahead. However, that timeline has recently shrunk and
Can cause loss of consciousness or even death. The two shipments were reportedly on their way to an address in Washington, D.C. The news soon sparked buzz online linked to Hunter Biden's drug controversy. The boxes have been transferred to Homeland Security's Investigations Department. Is 2024 the year TikTok gets banned?
Prince was arrested shortly after and charged with trafficking meth. During a search in April of last year, deputies recovered half a kilo of meth, as well as weapons, scales, and money counters. Well, deputies say a man wanted for aggravated assault and kidnapping tried to outrun them. This is Joel McLeod. Cherokee County deputies tracked him to the Grand Reserve apartment complex on Reservoir Drive in Canton. Deputies say when he spotted them, he made a U-turn, sped to the back of the complex, and took off running. The 41-year-old was quickly tased and taken into custody. He is being held without bond tonight.